Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ Live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. We are coming off the December 17th post-TLC edition of Monday Night Raw. We had the show open up with the big announcement. Vince McMahon came out to talk about the big shakeup that he was promising. So, what was the shakeup? I will let you guys know here in just a second. Real quick, I wanted to thank everyone for tuning in. I appreciate your viewership and support. Make sure you stay tuned to NoDQ.com for Raw spoilers because, yes, WWE is taping next week's show tonight in Sacramento. Cindy will be passing along some spoilers to me, so look out for that. The spoilers should be up by the end of the night. NoDQ.com. Anyways, Vince came out. He started off his promo by stating that he doesn't want to hear the fans booing. I'm surprised. They did cheer him, but there were some boos, and I didn't see any fans in the crowd doing the bowing, so I am happy about that. Vince Out of Touch McMahon is in the chat room. He says, I'm watching this video so I can demonetize this stream. All right. Well, thank you for that, Vince Out of Touch McMahon. To answer Tony Braden's question, the crowd did, in fact, do what chants at Vince. Is it just me, or does Vince look extremely old? I have to say, for the longest time, Vince looked like a guy in his 50s. Even 10 years ago, he looked like a guy in his 50s. But now, the dude looks his age. The dude looks like he's 80 years old. Tony H. with the first super chat of the night. He says, the re-screwed up era is off to a meh start. Caitlin says he looks like he was crying or had bad allergies. Chris Manley, 1994, says he's 73. Of course, he looks old. He looks 80. Vince looks older than his age at this point. And Kayfabe Candy S says he looks older and a lot skinnier. Vince proceeded to talk about how Raw has been on for 25 years and they have to change with the times. The times they are a-changing. A little reference to Bob Dylan. He introduced Stephanie McMahon. So, yay. We had Stephanie come out with her music. Instant letter grade drop for this week's Raw because you know how I feel about Stephanie's music. Worst music in the business as far as I'm concerned. We also had Triple H come out. We had Shane McMahon come out. Kayfabe Candy S says Bob Dylan references will sure to pop the teens. I know, right, Kayfabe? DVD King 5, or DVD King with a $5 super chat. Here you go, bro. Still looking for that interview. Well, DVD King, make sure you interview me as soon as possible. If you send me your info, nodqmisc@gmail.com, we'll try to make that happen. So, long story short, the big announcement. How is WWE going to shake things up? Here's what they're doing. The McMahons are taking over. The McMahons are now in charge of both Raw and SmackDown. Okay. Yeah. That's right. This is how they're changing everything. The McMahons are running the show again. They're taking charge. This was so stupid and not believable at all. I'm not convinced there's any change whatsoever in the coming weeks. So Stephanie was like talking about how it's a fresh start, and she said, we haven't been doing a very good job for you lately. Lately? What are you talking about, Stephanie? Lately? Get out of here. Triple H said that Raw will no longer suffer from absentee management. And Shane said the fans will have the best experience possible. The fans are going to get what they want now. The fans are the authority. How exactly does this work now? The fans get to call the shots. I'm confused. They did not elaborate how the fans are calling the shots. Chris Ramirez with a $2 super chat donation. He says, same old shit, same old shit. I agree. The segment was interesting to watch, but again, I'm not convinced we are going to see any kind of change anytime soon. Jeff McMahon says your boycott started this rift. I know, right? I hate to boast and toot my own horn, but it's kind of funny. I'm the one that made this big deal out of boycotting Raw, and then the very next week after the boycott, Seth Rollins comes out, says Raw sucks, and then the week after that, Vince comes back and they announce a big creative shakeup that they're going to change everything. So yeah, I like to take a little bit of credit for that. I mean, I think it was that Forbes article. I really do feel like that Forbes article made the big difference because WWE does care about the mainstream outlets. They don't care about the wrestling sites. They care about Forbes and USA Today and all those outlets. Forbes did cover the decline of Raw, and they did source NoDQ.com's recent poll in the post that I made about all the feedback towards that one Raw. So I like to feel like I did make a difference here, although I'm not convinced we are going to see any kind of change. Now, Colin Mack with a $2 super chat donation says, hey Aaron, keep up the good work. Thank you. Ken, terminated by Google, with a $2 super chat says, I thought Hogan was going to be the new GM, didn't you? No, I never expected Hogan to be the GM, and I think it would have been a bad idea to have Hogan as the GM. You need to do something new. And the problem with Hogan as the GM is that Hogan is Hogan. And if he's in any kind of segment with some generic guy, it was the Hulk Hogan show and everybody else was secondary. So that is a mistake. That's my rant on that. And let's see what else I missed from this segment. So nothing really. I think I covered all the important parts of it. Cindy with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Cindy. She says, stop by to say I had a great time. Letter grade C+. Anyways, back to the TV tapings. Good night. Thank you for that, Cindy. And again, a reminder, the spoilers will be up later tonight for the Christmas Eve edition of Monday Night Raw. And quick plug for Cindy. Thank you, Cindy, for providing the spoilers. Ladies of NoDQ t-shirt right here, which you can pick up over at NoDQ.com/shirts. Show your support for the gals, Cindy, Caitlin, and Aaron. Aaron Joel with a $2 super chat says, Vince was brave for being honest with us fans. Well, honest to a degree, but I still feel like WWE is being manipulative. I feel like they're saying we're going to change as a way to try and convince fans that there will be a change, but I'll believe it when I see it. That's the bottom line, because I said so. We had Baron Corbin come out, and he complained about the situation that happened at TLC with Braun Strowman and all the other guys coming out and the unfair situation. Ken, terminated by Google, with a $2 super chat. Good point, Riff. Did I tell you? You got a great mind. Well, thank you for that, Ken. I really do appreciate it. Stone Cold Riff. That's right. Corbin, they cut to a commercial as he was cutting his promo. When they came back from the commercial, Corbin was getting all sorts of heat from the fans. So I guess in a way this segment did work. Corbin was just getting booed like crazy. And then he asked for another opportunity to be the permanent GM. At first, everybody was like, no, but then Vince was like, well, maybe we can give him an opportunity. And then a match was made where if Baron Corbin won, he would get his championship, not championship, but his GM role back, whatever. Thank you, Roman Reigns, for the $10 super chat donation. Thank you for that. Thank you, Roman Reigns. Do not get fooled, guys. New faces, question mark? Of course we're getting new faces. We get NXT call-ups during Mania season. The only time Raws are sort of good is during Mania season. That is what they are meaning. Well, there you go. Thank you again for that super chat, and I tend to agree with you on that point. Virtue just called us a bunch of nerds. So Virtue, very desperate to get that heat right now. He's got to get the NoDQ review numbers up because we were down this week to 2.5K when we normally do 3 to 4K. So you guys got to tune into the NoDQ review. You got to boost Virtue's ego because the man has a bruised ego right now and he's not exactly feeling very virtuous right now. So you guys got to keep tuning in and get those numbers up for the NoDQ review. All right, so Stephanie was basically the one that said there was no chance in hell of Corbin getting his opportunity. However, Vince said maybe there's a way, and then Triple H said, well, if you beat this man, you get your GM spot back, and out came Kurt Angle. Might be with a $2 Super Chat donation. No Raw GM, question mark? No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like the McMahon's as baby faces and Triple H are running the show now, both shows. So I don't know what this means for the future, but looks like WWE for the time being is dropping the GM gimmick and we're just going to have McMahon's on television. New era. So we had Triple H announce that there's going to be a special referee for this match, and the referee was Heath Slater. We had Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle with Heath Slater as the referee, and then Triple H announced that it was going to be a handicapped match. This led to Bob Roode, Chad Gable, who now has a Bob Roode robe as well. So I guess they were able to buy some new robes that do not reek of piss. And we had Apollo Crews come out. Slater was playing the distracted referee role where he was conveniently looking at the turnbuckle, trying to fix the turnbuckle. But of course, it was all BS. Then we had Shane McMahon come out and announce that this match was now a no DQ. No DQ. We had Heath Slater start attacking Baron Corbin. Everybody beat down poor Baron Corbin, and then Kurt Angle hit the Angle Slam to pick up the victory. Mike B with a $2 Super Chat donation says, in that case, what happens with Paige? Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I would assume she's still going to be the GM. I don't know, and I really don't care because it doesn't matter. It's really irrelevant who the GM is or not. I mean, the real problem is the writing and changing the format of the show completely, just overhauling the show. You know, for those of you that missed it, Brian Maxwell Mann, I believe is his name. I may have gotten that wrong, but a former WWE writer posted about some ideas to change the format of Raw and make it more exciting. It's up on NoDQ.com if you haven't read it yet. I highly advise you read it. I think he makes some great points. Just changing up the show and the structure of the show and just doing something different. I really like his suggestions. I think they were well thought out. So check it out over at NoDQ.com if you haven't already. Moving on here, we had Dolph Record Scratch Ziggler. New era, still has the record scratch. We had Ziggler and Balor, by the way, still the Fonz with his stupid leather jacket. So we had Drew McIntyre come out, beat up both guys. Well, he pretty much went after Ziggler, and then Finn Balor did his dive onto McIntyre. Balor kicked out of the Fameasser, and then Drew McIntyre attacked Balor. That led to the referee throwing out the match. McIntyre laid out both guys with the Claymore kick, and that was that. WWE did announce a triple threat match for next week's Raw. Again, you can find out the spoilers over at NoDQ.com momentarily. Virtue says that Vince looked and sounded like death. I agree with you, Virtue. He sure did. Power Packers 90 with a $5 Super Chat time. He says, hey Aaron, thank you for putting my name on a shirt. They blame Corbin and Paige for their creative. They booked the same show as always on Raw. LOL. Yeah, pretty much. I agree with you on that one. That rift, NoDQ fan says Vince needs to go seriously. Next up, we had Dean Ambrose come out for a promo, and he said Rollins lost control at TLC, and he choked in the fourth quarter. He failed the people. Ambrose then issued an open challenge to Seth Rollins, and there was no Rollins. Now, it didn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. You had the four guys there in their SWAT gear and the masks. It was pretty obvious one of them was Seth Rollins. The fact that Rollins wasn't coming out, so I was rolling my eyes about this whole segment. I mean, even Stevie Wonder could see this one coming. We had the open challenge answered by Tyler Breeze. Of course, Breeze lost, but he put in the fight. He gave it the old college try. He was a very game Tyler Breeze against Dean Ambrose. Dean Mother Effin' Ambrose. Afterwards, of course, the oh-so-predictable moment where Seth Rollins was revealed as one of the guys in the mask. Yawn, boring, still don't care about the feud. Then we had Shane McMahon talking about the fresh start, and he said that there would be new superstars, new opportunities, and tough decisions were going to be made. The AOPP came in and said they wanted their rematch for the tag team titles, their mandatory rematch, because that's been the way things have been done in WWE. Thank you, Roman Reigns, with a $5 super chat time. Thank you, Roman Reigns. I'd rather watch Freddy's Dead Final Nightmare than Raw, and Freddy's Dead is said to be the worst movie in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I liked Freddy's Dead. I mean, I would say 5 was probably weaker, but I did enjoy that one. I love the Power Glove scene. That's one of my favorite sequences in any Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I also like the whole death with Carlos, with the ear. That was great. I love that one. I think that's a very entertaining Nightmare on Elm Street entry. I think they're all pretty good. Of all the slasher films, I think that one had the most consistent quality, at least when Robert Englund was Freddy Krueger. Anyways, this is not Freddy Live, this is NoDQ Live, so let's move forward here. Shane McMahon said no to the automatic rematch clause, and then it was announced that AOP would get an opportunity for the titles in a Fatal 4-Way #1 Contenders match. DJ Whitey with a $5 super chat donation. Doesn't Ambrose remind you of Bane from The Dark Knight Rises with the jacket and mask? LOL. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's what everyone is saying on social media, and I tend to agree with it. Not really a fan of the look. Again, not how I would have imagined Dean Ambrose's heel character. I wouldn't be having him dress up like Bane, but that's just me. So it looks like the whole mandatory rematch clause is being abolished by WWE. What do you guys think about this? Yay or nay? I know some of you see it as a positive because you feel like it handcuffs the booking a little bit, where we have to see a rematch every time, every show. Like, for instance, Becky Lynch would get a mandatory rematch against Asuka, and perhaps that's not really the best thing to do booking-wise at this time. So I see some of you thinking it's a good decision. Caitlin does. Braden says, yay, I guess, but don't really care. TJS likes it, but I am seeing some nays. Trey Johnson said, nah. Ken Terminated by Google said, nah. Anthony said, nah. Michael Wayne said, okay. Noah said, yay. So it's a mixed bag. It looks like more yeses than nos. So we'll have to see if it actually does make sense in the long run. I mean, I always like the idea of the champion getting a rematch when they lose. I mean, I think it's fair that they get a rematch, just so you could say, hey, it wasn't a fluke that the champ lost his title. The new champion can beat him a second time and prove he's the better guy. So, logically, I think it does make sense, but I feel like it's also been a handicap for WWE as far as booking goes. Sean Gordon with a $5 super chat donation says, does Tyler Breeze need a new gimmick? If Vince didn't care for it the first time, why would he care even now with Breeze going back to NXT? That's a very good question. I'm not really sure what you do with Tyler Breeze at this point. Maybe going back to NXT would be better for him. I feel like the gimmick he's doing is only going to have very limited potential. I know a lot of people think he can be more than just some lower card guy. So I feel like maybe, but I don't know. I suppose if he had a new character, some kind of gimmick change, maybe he could be a little bit higher on the card. I don't know. I really don't. So moving on here, we talked about the Fatal 4-Way match, but I'll get to the result here in just a minute. Hero Villain 5 with a $5 super chat time. He says, ho ho ho, you SOB. Remember that anyway. Merry Christmas. All the best. Thank you for that, Hero Villain 5. I do appreciate it. Let's move on here to the NXT call-ups. So Shane McMahon did mention some fresh faces being called up, and there was a promo to hype up 6 call-ups total. 1 tag team and 4 singles competitors, excuse me. We had EC3, Heavy Machinery, Lars Sullivan, of course, The Freak, which we already knew about, Nikki Cross, who has been doing stuff for a while, and then Lacey Evans. So here's the thing, to use Jeff Meacham's line, and it was discussed a little bit earlier. I like when the NXT call-ups are surprises, and they're going to happen anyways. So to do this really doesn't change anything. If anything, you are ruining the moment, because at least when they come out as a surprise, you get that fun moment. Holy crap, there's this guy. Sometimes I do like the video packages to hype up a debut, but to just do it with all these guys in one fell swoop, not really a big fan of it. You know, I was fine with the Lars Sullivan thing, but it would have been nice if the other guys were a surprise. DJ Whitey with a $2 super chat donation says, I have a feeling that they are going to push EC3 strong. They might. I mean, he's definitely got the body, but unfortunately, I feel like pretty much all these guys are going to be pushed momentarily. And here's the problem too. The roster is already so crowded. There are already so many guys that are struggling to get a spot and get TV time. So now you're just overcrowding the main roster even more. I mean, this is a real problem now. WWE has so many people under contract. Are these guys going to take the spots of 5 or 6 people already on the roster, or are they going to be pushed for 2 weeks and then forgotten about? Somebody's going to get pushed down. So just changing guys in and out isn't going to fix WWE's problems. Thank you, Roman Reigns, with a $2 super chat donation. There's too many talent on the main roster, which I just said, and I definitely agree with that. Alfred with a $2 super chat donation says, Merry Christmas, Aaron. Virtue says, when I see Aaron's shirt, I hear a whip cracking. All right. Hey, got to support the ladies in NoDQ. And quite frankly, Caitlin's my favorite, with all due respect to Aaron and Cindy. So I guess, yeah, crack the whip. All right, moving on here. We had Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush do their promo. Nothing wrong with whips, kayfabe candy ass. Nothing wrong. Just saying. Oh boy, here come the comments now. I can just see it. Leo talked about how nobody came to hear another boring Elias song. Bobby Lashley did his posing. Lio Rush dissed the Sacramento Kings, which was a nice little throwback to when The Rock dissed the Sacramento Kings. But when The Rock did it, it got like the most epic heat of all time, maybe up until that recent Elias promo. I forgot which team it was, but Elias got that sustained heat for like seemingly 5-10 minutes, whatever it was. But the gist of this was that Leo said, "Hey, Bobby," and then he said, "Bobby, show everybody your assets." So Lashley showed off his butt again. Renee Young was absolutely mortified. It was the Seattle Supersonics. Thank you for that. We had Elias come out of nowhere with a guitar shot to the back of Bobby Lashley. And that was that. That was the whole segment. Not much to it, just keeping the feud going. No real opinion on it. Lashley pretty much no-sold it. He got up right away, so whatever. Don't understand the point of it, but it is what it is. Hero Villain 5 with a $2 super chat donation. All this talent and still no world title. Good point there, Hero Villain 5. And it's funny, like, since we are the authority now, does this mean Brock Lesnar is going to show up on TV and defend the title? I mean, if I'm the authority, I want to see the Universal title on TV every week. I want to see Brock Lesnar defend it on TV. So, yeah, I'm the authority. I want to see it. How about it, WWE Universe? Brock Lesnar, defend the world title, first Raw of 2019. I say let's do it, but don't think it's going to happen. By the way, we just hit 400 live viewers tonight, so thank you to everyone for watching and tuning in. If you're watching for the first time, I hope you're enjoying the video. We've had some good discussion. We've talked about Lashley's butt. We've talked about whips. We've talked about all sorts of interesting things. So that's what NoDQ Live is all about. Anything can happen. It's live. Sometimes I say incredibly stupid things like head over to nodq.com/shirts and buy a shirt because I said so. Thank you, Roman Reigns, with a $2 super chat donation. Says, hashtag ditch WWE events. WWE product is so bad. Tell that to Cindy. Thank you, Roman Reigns. Just saying. Love you, Cindy. Tony H with a $2 super chat donation says, the big gold belt would have had people talking. Maybe, but to me that wouldn't have fixed the overall problems with WWE. I mean, the belt is the belt. Why is... Okay, Caleb, don't start booting my buddies. Ken, terminated by Google, can talk about cuck all he wants. Alfred with a $2 super chat donation says, do you love life, Aaron? That would be putting it mildly. I am definitely a proponent of loving life, having a positive attitude, and making the most of every day that you have on planet Earth. What is going on here now? Virtue, stop it. We're getting some abuse of power in the chat room. The Riff No DQ fan says, you give DQ a bad name, Virtue. And then Virtue put him in timeout. Not cool, Virtue. Just calling you out on that one. You guys got to stop with the abuse of power. Otherwise, it's going to be strictly the ladies and kayfabe candy ass running the show here. And Boston Punk. Boston Punk is well behaved. All right, let's get back now. Now that we're actually still around 400. So amazingly, I haven't lost all the viewership from ranting about the moderators. All right. So we had a promo to hype up the return of Sami Zayn. We also had a promo to hype up the return of Kevin Owens. I guess it's fine, but I didn't think they were coming back this quickly. And also, again, I'd like to see it be a surprise, at least with one of them. I'm still a fan of the idea that the two of them come back as a babyface tag team to reinvent the tag team division. I mean, that's what I want to see. Hold on a second. There we go. I just put Virtue in timeout. How about that? Hashtag fire Virtue. All right. So we had the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. We had the Revival versus the AOPP versus the Lucha House Party versus the B Team. What was that shaker, whatever it was, that Grand Metalik or whoever the guy on the outside was using to make that sound? Whatever that was extremely annoying. Like, that was just bugging the shit out of me. And I'm so confused. Are these guys faces? I mean, what's the deal here? I mean, it was purposely annoying, but they're supposed to be baby faces, right? I don't get it. I'm so confused. Sean with a $2 super chat donation says, big supporter of NoDQ and Rift. Well, thank you for that, Sean. I really do appreciate it. I was not a fan of that. It was just like turn off the TV type stuff. Like, I enjoy Lio Rush because he's a heel, but I totally don't understand this stuff with the Lucha House Party. I really don't. DJ Whitey with a $2 super chat donation says, be careful, Aaron, before Virtue drops a pipe bomb. Well, I already dropped the pipe bomb on Virtue, him and his 2.5K views for the NoDQ review. Mike B with a $5 super chat donation. While Raw is almost as boring, NoDQ never is, so therefore it kicks Raw's ass. NoDQ is the best. Well, thank you for that, Mike B. I really do appreciate it. I also wanted to add that Noah Foster has been very well behaved as a moderator. Thank you for that, Noah. He's a simple man, and simple men just know how to behave and get the job done. So thank you for that. Caleb Jacobs with a $2 super chat donation says, can I be timed out? LOL. Perhaps you can, Caleb. I mean, I guess it could be an honor to some to be put in timeout. Virtue had to learn a lesson, though. Virtue is abusing his power, damn it. But anyways, back to the match. Revival won, so Revival push number 436 begins. I know people were happy. They're like, oh boy, Revival's getting a push again. New era. Until they probably lose next week and then go back to catering. Josh Mansfield with a $2 super chat donation says, free Virtue, fire Rift. Hashtag Northeast Ohio Squad. Ouch. That's brutal, Josh. That is so brutal. I'm going to have to invade Virtue's promotion one of these days and give him a piece of my mind. Maybe you too, Josh Mansfield. We'll have to wait and see. So yeah, Revival won. Whatever. Next up, we had Seth Rollins talking about how TLC was a disaster, and he did mention the crowd, how he heard the crowd. He said it's on him. He owns it. He has to continue doing his thing because WWE is what he loves. He's going to right the ship. He's going to end Dean Ambrose. And then Baron Corbin confronted Rollins, saying that Rollins is the reason that all this stuff happened that led to Corbin losing his job. And then he said he would take the IC title, except Dean Ambrose already did it. That led to Rollins punching out Baron Corbin. And then it was announced that next week we will have a one-on-one match between Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin, which again, you could check out the spoilers very shortly over at NoDQ.com, your source for wrestling news and rumors. And by the way, did you know you could pick up some t-shirts like the ladies in ODQ, the amazing Cindy, the fabulous Aaron, and the beautiful Caitlin. Caitlin's my favorite. I'm biased, but the three of them are all awesome. They're all beautiful. They're all very intelligent and a great addition to hashtag Team NoDQ. So go over there and pick up their shirt over at NoDQ.com/shirts. And Offman Rules is also on the t-shirt. Some of you are on the NoDQ Galaxy t-shirt. So if you are, you should pick up the shirt so you're part of the team. Hashtag Team NoDQ. All right, where are we now? So, all right, time for the third hour. Here's where I go into the Caitlyn doghouse, talking about the third hour of Raw. DJ Whitey with a $5 super chat donation. Revival versus Rude and Gable seems like a good technical match on paper. I would not sleep on it. Well, we'll see. That could turn out to be a really good match. I don't believe it was announced for next week's Raw, but I suppose it could always be added. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the spoilers. Kayla, the shirts are $19.99 each, and there are the sales that go on usually during holidays, but this one just passed. But if you're looking for a discount, Just wait until I make an announcement or Pro Wrestling Tees makes an announcement. There's usually several sales every year from Pro Wrestling Tees, but normally they're $19.99 plus shipping or whatever. All right, so we had the third hour of Raw kick off with a Ronda Rousey promo, and she warned that Becky Lynch should not provoke her. The crowd chanted Becky Lynch, of course. She talked about what a real champion should be, that they should be the best that the human race has to offer, blah, blah, blah. She said a real champion would show up the next night and issue an open challenge. And she said that's what she's going to do. She's going to issue an open challenge. A whole bunch of women, and I actually did like this. Because in the past, I always complained about, there's always one person that comes out or 3 or 4 people, but what about everybody else? So I actually like the fact that all the women were fighting over the spot for once. To me, that's at least showing that everyone wants to be number one. So I did think that this was a good segment, at least this part of it. Thank you, Roman Reigns, with a $5 super chat donation. Says, thoughts on Roman Reigns appearing at Tribute to the Troops health update. Obviously, he won't be wrestling. I don't really know what to say about it. I just feel that Reigns wanted to be there to support the troops, but I don't think it's a sign that he's going to be back anytime soon. And we have a little bit of drama in the chat room. Virtue's like, time me out again. If you guys are missing this, you got to check out the chat room because there is definitely some drama here. Will Virtue be the next guy to quit NoDQ.com? That remains to be seen. Virtue seems to be quite upset over the fact that he was put in timeout. Oh, well. Go buy a Fire Virtue shirt over at NoDQ.com/shirts. What the hell? So we had all the women fighting over that prestigious final spot. And Stephanie McMahon brought them all out to the ramp and said that there would be a gauntlet match, an 8-woman gauntlet. So I guess only 8 of the women. I think there were more than 8 that were arguing. Virtue says, quit, it's not a job. It is a job, damn it. Anything you do where you're putting your best effort into it is a job. So we had this 8-woman gauntlet, and here we go with the rant about the gauntlet. I thought it was boring. They tried to recreate the success of the men's gauntlet, but to me, that's like a once every 3 or 4 years deal. I felt like that gauntlet match was fine, but I don't want to see something like that more than every couple of years. To me, it's just time filler. Literally, the whole third hour was this gauntlet match, and it wasn't nearly as good as the men's gauntlet. With all due respect to the women, let's face it, Seth Rollins is one of the best workers in the company, and he really stole the show. And I wouldn't say that anybody really stole the show in this one. I mean, the matches were okay, but it was just more of the stuff that we've seen before. It was Alicia and Bayley. Not that exciting. Bayley won. Bayley then beat Dana Brooke. Again, not much to it. Mickie James then came out and beat Bayley. Okay. Ember Moon came out, beat Mickie. Then Natalya came out and beat Ember. Natalya beat Ruby Riott. And then finally, Sasha Banks came out and Natalya tapped out Sasha to win the match. So basically, you took 45 minutes to establish Natalya as the #1 contender, which quite frankly, I think would have been more effective if they had just done like, I don't know, maybe an 8-woman battle royal at half the length. Or why even do any match at all? Natalya beat Ruby Riott. She beat the Riott Squad pretty much 3-on-1 at the pay-per-view. Just say, hey, you know what? Of all the women, Natalya has shown the most lately, so she's getting the opportunity. I just feel like the match was totally unnecessary. Wasn't particularly exciting to watch. Crowd was completely dead for it, and I felt like it was going to be ratings death. I think the first hour is going to be stronger than usual. Obviously, with Vince coming back, there will be some fan interest. I think that first hour of Raw is going to do a decent number, maybe 2.7, 2.8 million viewers. But I'm predicting a pretty steep decline for the ratings. I would not be shocked if that third hour is, 2.1 million viewers. It's going to be right there among the lowest rated Raw hours in history. So it'll probably be like 2.8, 2.4, 2.1 million if I was going to make a prediction for the numbers. I feel like it was hard to really invest in that match for me personally, and the crowd just wasn't into it. So I thought this was a really flat ending to Monday Night Raw. Whole third hour. So I know Caitlyn liked it. So like I said, I'm in the Caitlyn doghouse, but whatever. That is Raw, everybody. I wasn't blown away by the show. I'm not convinced there's going to be a turnaround. I was expecting more, but maybe that was foolish of me to expect more. Didn't really feel like the shake-up show that I would have liked to have seen. The one from 2002 that got a lot of people talking was when Vince came out and introduced Eric Bischoff as the general manager. So, yeah. I don't know how I feel about this show. I guess I'll give it a C. Average Raw. I mean, didn't really blow me away. There wasn't anything that was awful per se, but nothing that really stood out to me as like a turning point in WWE history. So yeah, I'm just going to give it a C. It was okay. It was passable. I'm seeing a C+ from Noah Foster, Kev Dog with a C+, Michael Wayne with a C-, Mayor of Peepsville with a C. Seeing a lot of D's from LB King. My Thoughts Are Below gives it an F. Hero Villain with a C-, Great Turbonian or Great Tribulation with a D. TK with a C-, Curtis Butler with a C-, Caleb Jacobs with a B-, TJS with a C. Jeremy McGill with a D-, Joshua Rice with an F. So it's a mixed bag. I'm seeing a lot. I'm not seeing too many A's. Looking in this chat room right now, I am not seeing much in the way of A's. Brian gives it a T for trash. Kayfabe Candy Ass says nothing wrong with seeing a lot of D. All right. Kayfabe Candy Ass with the quote of the night. So there you go. That was my review of Monday Night Raw. Again, NoDQ.com will keep you updated with spoilers, courtesy of Cindy and whoever else is in Sacramento that will be sending me spoilers. I might have a few people. So check it out, NoDQ.com. Buy a shirt, NoDQ.com/shirts. Ladies in NoDQ, great shirt, great print job. Pro Wrestling Tees does a remarkable job with their printing. Get the Fire Virtue shirt because Virtue, he needs that ego boost, 2.5K viewers for the NoDQ review. We're slipping. The review is slowly losing popularity. So you got to do something to help out Virtue and get his ego back up. Make him feel like the old Virtue again. Buy a shirt, NoDQ.com/shirts. And that will do it for this edition. Hold that thought. DJ Whitey with a $2 super chat. Call-in video for New Year's. I like it. Maybe I will do that. Maybe I will do a call-in for the final NoDQ Live of 2018. I do like that as an idea. So maybe I will do that. On that note, I will go ahead and sign off here for NoDQ Live. Thank you all very much for your continued support of NoDQ.com. See you guys next time.